Welcome back to What Have I Been Watching, the monthly review segment that you should enjoy, which this month comes with a free waifu rating segment. For the selection, we have Typical Me Pick, Typical Me Pick, Typical Me Pick, I Said I'd Watch, I Said I Might Watch, and Popular Good Show. Wow, what a selection. This month, I chose possibly the best worst show in And You Never Thought There Was a Girl Online. To explain, the plot follows a guy in a game full of in-real-life women, which the viewer finds out at like the end of the first episode. The main character, whose in-game name is Rushian, which I'm gonna call him that due to not remembering or caring what his name actually is, he has the personality trait of otaku. That's it. Ako, Rushian's main love interest, is so confusing I can't even comprehend it in words. They are married in the game and Ako refuses a relationship in real life as being someone's girlfriend is less than someone's wife, despite one being a real thing and the other being on some hard drive out there. The comedy is done well despite those points earlier, and the character dynamic of the otaku hater being an otaku, whilst not unique, was enjoyable. At the very least, the show was never something I had a feeling or need to drop at any point. Though, to illustrate its quality, the following clip should suffice. To rate it, it was a watch and maybe worth my time. So for that, it gets a 7 out of 10. Now, K-On! Where do I begin? It features between 4 and 6 main characters depending where you stand, with Airhead Yui, Dumb Ritsu, Rich but Sweet Tsumugi, Grounded Mio, and Mio 2.0 in Azusa, as well as supervising teacher Sawako. It follows the school club and their antics, as the club is fairly slack in actually being a band, using most of the club time to be British and have a nice cup of tea. Surprisingly, the show features Christmas, which, considering the video release is fairly close to Christmas, I thought was worth mentioning, which is also a rarity for many anime shows. My feelings are mixed on the show. It was a fairly decent slice of life, I just felt a little out of place watching it, and I'm not really sure why. Overall, I believe the show deserves an 8 out of 10 for being a fairly interesting slice of life show. ToraDora, surprisingly enough, also has a Christmas section of the show. I enjoyed the concept of two misfits working together to get the romantic partner they want, with a small but nice looking Taiga and scary looking but useful Ryuji. With these two as well as their friends and connections with other characters creating an interesting dynamic, I think the show excels when everything's explained well and seeing each of the characters be themselves. Though the second half of the season was really weird, with rational decisions being made by characters I just don't think made any sense and weren't explained well. Though that may just be me. I enjoyed my time with the show. I may be a bit desensitized to such romantic twists and the high school romance setting in general, considering what else I've watched. But to rate standalone, I would give it an 8 out of 10. The second season of Bleach continues right where the first ended, with the goal of the season established in the last, and all the characters being up to the challenge. I enjoyed the plot and surprises like the reveal on who Yoroichi the cat actually is, and ends on a nice cliffhanger. There isn't really too much to say about the show, as I've said all the basic things in the last video. Despite all this, it was a really solid season. 8 out of 10. Mob Psycho 102 is a great continuation of the show. However, the series isn't without its flaws. Within the first half of the season of the show, it covers like 3 different plot points in quick succession, making for a really fast pace for this part of the show. As it continues, the plot does focus on evil organization Claw for the second half of the season. I assume either they had to add the source material for these plot points, or they couldn't make the main story fit the whole season. Despite that, seeing Mob's personality of being passive and solving things through hard work and not powers is something very wholesome to watch. Reagan is still as infuriating as ever though, creating more problems than I can count. Although the show has its flaws, I enjoyed it a lot. The soundtrack is as amazing as the first season, and the animation of the fight scenes is amazing and brilliant. All up, I feel the season was definitely good, however the show has some flaws that are too big to ignore. 8 out of 10. So, I read the manga before watching the anime, and they follow the same story, meaning the story was good, though I had seen it before. I have to say that Demon Slayer is probably the nicest looking show I've seen visually, and every voice actor does an amazing voice for their character. Honestly, voice acting in anime is certainly underappreciated, as all of it is done to such a high standard. Tanjiro is probably one of the nicest, most kind-hearted protagonists too, which if you ignore Zenitsu's antics, leads to one of the best protagonist and antagonist setups for a show. I think I'll try and finish the manga before continuing with the movie, so expect me to start the movie around January or February. As for the score, I believe the first season deserves a 9 out of 10. So, the movie technically isn't out in Australia yet, though by the time the video releases it will be, so the following joke is pointless. Then this video is sponsored by no one, because who would do a sponsor deal with a channel who at the moment has like 40 subs? However, you will need a VPN to watch it legitimately from Australia at the time of writing. Anyway, online I saw that there were a lot of complaints about the pacing, and I will agree, however the movie is already 2 hours long, so adding to the runtime really isn't an option. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I feel that the movie improved a lot from the original 2 seasons, and made a more enjoyable series. Pacing issues aside, it was pretty much perfect and it told a story that was really nice and a conclusion to one of the first series I ever watched. I appreciate how each of the characters grew and the decisions they made. After finishing, I was a little emotional about how one of the first series I had watched had ended, something you don't really experience if you go back to finish a show or know that there could be more coming. Looking past a lot of the issues, there is really a good movie to be had here. So good that I rate it at a 9 out of 10. Hello and welcome to Waifu Review, a short review segment where I review waifus. Today's candidates are from shows watched this month, and we have Akko from And You Never Thought There Was a Girl Online, not to be confused with Akko from Kiss Sis, and Nezuko, the demon. First up is Akko. She is sweet, a gamer, and has strong affection, though she has a lot of downside, not knowing the difference from something on a screen and a person in real life, as well as being stubborn on many things, even though she has those looks. All up, she is a waifu out of waifu. And next is Nezuko, who by the shock of no one isn't actually Tanjiro's girlfriend, which I've seen many times online for some reason. Instead, his sister is really cute and innocent on first glance. However, that demon blood is going to make things really dicey if a disagreement arose, and a lack of being able to spend time in the sun together is a big bummer as well. So make sure you treat her right, or else there may be a fight. Anyways, that's all for Waifu Review this time. If you enjoyed, make sure to keep the segment off life support. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed all the new ideas, and again, I appreciate all for watching. This year's been a great one, finding my footing with content. I appreciate feedback in the comments, and in the description you can find my socials as always. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.